Bliss, bliss, bliss. Welcome everyone. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa, here to join you for another weekly reading. A beautiful day. It is Sunday, 1:11 p.m. Central Time. That's our time to join as a collective in this energy, to be able to feel into the energy of this upcoming week and learn how to navigate it together, feeling into the astrology, the numerology significance, the spirit messages that I've received about this week, and we'll be pulling cards as well. I'm so excited to join you here. Thank you so much for joining me every week with this beautiful, beautiful community of people that are here with the same kind of energy, the same like-mindedness, and able to connect every Sunday. It's such a great gift that we have to be connected, So I'm excited to see you all. Already there's 7 people on, really cool. That was fast. Hey, Pavel. I have the worst eyesight, guys. I have to go so close to the screen to see you guys' names. But it's good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to do a quick review of last week so that we can get in tune with where we're at on the level of energy, and also have everybody else able to join in here. So thank you for attending this live reading. Thank you for being here. All right, let's talk about the review of last week's energy, okay? Last week we had the cards Faith for the beginning of the week, Trust and Nature for the middle of the week, and Dreams for the end of the week, okay? And I feel like that was such a strong card reading, especially since we had that Mercury retrograde starting on the 5th last week. We also had the new moon on the 6th last week on Wednesday in Pisces. We also had Uranus entering Taurus from now until 2026. So lots of big shifts of energy last week, lots of intense energy last week. We knew it was coming. We knew that that energy was going to be intense when we talked about it last week, and boy was it. I know that for me, I was very much in awareness of how the new moon, the Mercury retrograde, the Uranus in Taurus was affecting my life and affecting the lives of others. I continued to see that mystery, that fear of the unknown, stepping into things that we weren't sure about yet, but knowing that our heart was leading the way. That was that new moon energy really allowing us to release fear of the unknown. I know I had to deal with my own fears of the unknown in a lot of things last week. I'm sure you did as well. And if not, you probably saw somebody who was dealing with it, feeling a sense of uncertainty and taking a leap of faith forward, jumping into a new experience, a new relationship, or no relationship, or no job, or no kind of constructive energy, maybe a change in family or whatever, just jumping into something completely new and even leaving a lot of things. With the Mercury retrograde, we had a lot of endings surfacing, a lot of unexpected change as well with the Uranus into Taurus. So we are feeling tons of energy this week as well as a result of last week. We're going to be a little bit smoother in our energy this week just because we are settling in to all of the intensities of last week. So that should give some relief to some of you that this week coming up is going to be a little bit more smooth, a little bit more charismatic for our being, and we're also going to be feeling more rooted and more grounded in our energy given what we experienced last week. Now last week as well, we probably learned a ton of things. I don't know about you guys. I know I learned a lot with just seeing myself in a certain light or a new light, seeing others in a new light, also being accountable for my actions, my emotions, my behaviors. Same for you. If you're being accountable for that, that is a great sign that that Mercury retrograde is doing having its positive influence on you. Mercury retrograde is usually so feared and dreaded by people. And it's because it is a tumultuous energy. It does offer some chaotic energy, some unpredictability, some sudden changes, some lack of communication or some issues there, some miscommunication or misunderstandings. But when you know how to see how the Mercury retrograde is affecting you, and then act appropriately in response to that influence, then it no longer becomes scary or dreadful. It becomes something that gives you a sense of accomplishment, accountability, responsibility for your actions, holding other people responsible for their actions, making sure people are accountable for what they say and do, making sure that you're doing the same thing. So all of that is productive. That allows us to be more efficient, more capable, more strong in our conviction, and it allows us to see our truth more fully and to really work on things that we need to work on. If we didn't have a Mercury retrograde, or things that are sometimes tumultuous in energy, the shifts of energy that aren't always super smooth and exciting, if we didn't have things like that, we wouldn't know where to fix things in our life. We wouldn't know what was out of balance in our life. We wouldn't know what endings are being revealed and what we need to act on to disconnect from certain things if we didn't have that stuff. So we should be grateful and accepting and excited for what that Mercury retrograde has been offering us. And I know it has probably offered you a ton. It's offered me a ton. I know I've been holding people accountable for their actions, holding myself accountable for my actions. And we have to make sure that when we're doing that for others, we're also seeing ourselves fully, and we're knowing and we're being humble in the fact that we're not perfect either, and that this Mercury retrograde is going to be teaching us something about ourselves too, revealing to ourselves some illusions and delusions that we might have been telling ourselves. And that's really what that energy was about last week with the new moon influence in Pisces as well, is reviewing and seeing any delusions, any illusions, any lies that we're telling ourselves, anything that we see on the surface as one thing but is actually something completely different underneath it. That's what we were in last week. And all of that awareness that we gained last week is now going to be put into motion this week, and we're going to be able to really use that information for the sake of navigating into our new beginnings and into our new perspectives and into our new behaviors as well. Okay? So that's all in all the review of last week. Also, I want to make sure that we talk about dreams, because dreams was a big one for the end of the week with the card, and we didn't talk too much about it over the week. So I want to say that dreams are really important for everybody right now. It's important not just the physical dreams we have when we go to sleep, because those are giving us a lot of information. If you tend to have lucid dreaming or really intense dreams, there's most likely some symbolic or spiritual significance in those dreams, revealing to you some of those illusions, some of those delusions, some of the endings that need to happen, some of that truth that is underneath the surface. So pay attention to your dreams, but also it's about paying attention to the dreams and goals that you have for the future, your ideal life, your ideal talent or goal, whatever it is. I'm having a hard time thinking of the word, but your ideal state of being, right? And that is a dream that we all have. We all have this dream to become a certain person that we know we can be, or do something that we know we can do. And it's really important that we allow that, specifically for this week, as that was the last card of the week last week. We have to allow ourselves to really see our dreams clearly this week and be able to pinpoint the goals that will allow us to get to those dreams and to accomplish those dreams, because we are for this week going to be setting some things in motion and really holding ourselves in a responsibility and accountability to really manifest those dreams. Also, just another thing, because I didn't really talk about the cards in the review, trust in nature was allowing us to trust in our own natural flow and in our own natural being and connect with nature in order for us to see the truth in ourselves and to be able to move forward in that trust of it. Also, with the faith is all about just being true to yourself and being strong in your own believability that the universe has your back and that the flow of energy, wherever that energy is flowing, is going to be good for you, and to follow that flow and not to doubt it, especially when it's intuitively governed by the heart. Okay, so that's our review. Pretty easy review. I know it was a little long, but I wanted to get that message across about Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde is going to be in retrograde until the 27th or 28th of this month. So make sure that you're holding on to those understandings of Mercury retrograde throughout the entire month. It's easy for us to get a little complacent, a little bit lazy, or just forget that Mercury retrograde is still going on a few weeks in. So now that we're a week in, don't let yourself forget that there's still learning to be had with the Mercury retrograde, that is still influencing us in a lot of ways, and for us to really be accountable and conscious of it. Okay, so some spirit messages. I'll go into that before astrology and numerology. The spirit messages I got for this week for 3/10 today, March 10th, 2019, going into March 17th, 2019, next week. That is what we'll cover for this week. So moving into that energy, all of the energy for this upcoming week. The spirit messages that I got. We must be humble with our mistakes and miscommunications. I talked a little bit about this just a second ago with the Mercury retrograde, but this is a big one. The Mercury retrograde really allowed us to see a lot about ourselves and a lot about others around us. Relationships that we entertain that might not be healthy, projects that we're doing that might not be flowing right, jobs that we have that aren't really flowing into our goals and our dreams and our aspirations, that aren't really true to us. Any kind of energy internally, any kind of thought processes, emotions, internal dialogue that we have that is not flowing well or not serving us. We have to be accountable for that, and we have to be humble. We have to know that we can tell ourselves we're wrong. We can accept that we've made a mistake. We can accept that we're not communicating efficiently. We can accept that we have flaws. We're human. It's okay to be wrong about something. It's okay to act wrong in a certain situation and then realize it and be able to take accountability and responsibility for that. And when we do, we become so much more abundant in our own being, in our own ability to be truthful, to be honest, to be genuine, and to actually fix the problems or the flaws that we see in those times. When we're not able to be humble, when we hear something about ourselves, maybe somebody comes to us and tells us that we're not doing what we need to be doing for them, that we're treating them wrong, or that we're affecting them negatively, and it's really hard for us to hear it, right? Especially if you're tapped in and tuned into the spirituality and you're really connected to being as good of a person as you can and you're a light worker. When we hear those things, when we hear that maybe we're not doing what we need to be doing spiritually, maybe we're not treating other people with as much respect as we thought, maybe we're not communicating as effectively as we thought we were, maybe we're not being honest with ourselves and genuine with ourselves, or even keeping up with our mindfulness practice, when we're told that, it hurts. It feels like our whole purpose is not being fulfilled, like we're failing. But there is something to be learned there, and there is something to grow from that point. We have to be able to accept our miscommunications, our mistakes, and our flaws in those times, and hear that person out, because it is Mercury retrograde. So just as much as we're telling other people about themselves and how they're maybe not flowing with us and our energy as much as we'd like, or they're not serving us, we also have to be able to hear that from other people when it's true and when they're feeling that. And we have to hear it with honest ears. We have to hear it with humble ears and know that, yes, we are flawed too. And when we actually admit those flaws or mistakes, that's when the growth happens. That's when the universe says, oh, wow, they've opened up to their genuine nature. They've opened up to the truth, and now they're ready with that conscious light. Remember, whenever we put conscious awareness on something, we're shining a light onto that area. So now you're shining a light onto those mistakes or miscommunications or poor energetic exchanges. And when you shine a light on it, then everything changes into a better, higher vibration. So we want to make sure we're shining the light and not ignoring people when they tell us about ourselves. We have to make sure we're being humble with that. Also, identifying goals and being strict on them. That is what we're moving into for this week as well. We're really allowing ourselves, like I said, to capture all of the information that we've received from all of the intense energy of last week with the new moon, the Mercury retrograde, Uranus and Taurus, all of that energy, capture all of that information, all the downloads we had, all the emotional roller coasters we had, all of the internal reflections that we had, all of the understandings of that energy and navigation of it last week, that all the realizations that came from it. We want to gather it all up, and we want to allow it to help us identify new goals, help us identify new beginnings. If somebody came to you and said, hey, you're not communicating that well with me, I really need you to step it up. We need to set a goal now to step up our communication, to be more genuine, to be more available with our communication, more honest, more connected, and more communicative in general. we've got to set that goal. If somebody comes to us and says, you know what, I feel like you're maybe too hard on yourself. I feel like you really should give yourself more self-love. I think that it's time for you to take some time for yourself, to love yourself more. We have to hear that, and we have to set that goal of self-love. We have to use the mirrors of our experience, the people around us who are reflecting back information about us, as motivation and as informants on what we need to do and what goals we should put into place, especially when those messages come to us and they resonate really fully with what we might be going through. Okay? Oh, sorry guys, there's an ad on my YouTube. Okay, so also with that, I want us to really make sure that we're being strict on the goals, okay? We can't just set the goals and then walk away from them. We really have to be diligent with our goals. We really have to be diligent with ourselves. We have to be diligent with our ability to communicate our truth. If that's one of the things that you realized with last week, that you had a really hard time speaking your mind and speaking your truth on things because of that Mercury retrograde, and you had a hard time maybe speaking up about the illusions or delusions that you were seeing in your life, maybe you had a hard time expressing yourself, we want to make sure that we set the goal to be more expressive and to make sure we're being honest with our communication and we're putting that in place. We don't want to step away from those goals and ignore them and just say, okay, well, I made the goal, I made the intention, I don't have to work at it. No, we have to work at it. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to give ourselves different kind of goals to reach. Maybe I'm gonna tell 3 people my truth next week. I'm gonna keep myself in truth all week, and hold yourself accountable. Maybe do a little tally chart every day that you're able to stay in your truth, stay in your expression of your truth, and communicate appropriately. You do a tally mark and a check mark or a gold star when we were kids. Whatever it is that will help you really set in those goals and be strict with them and be able to implement them throughout the week. That's what this upcoming week's about. Also, using the emotions, behaviors, thoughts that have surfaced from last week and this week, and learn how to control them to reach goals. And that's what I really just said, but that's kind of just honing it in a little bit more. It's about emotions, it's about behaviors, it's about thoughts. We had so much emotion last week, especially with the Pisces new moon, all of that flowy, watery, emotional energy. And Pisces are really about subtle emotions. So it's every little intricate emotion that we had last week, we felt fully. Every little thought that we had last week, especially with that higher mind influence of the Uranus and the Neptune, we felt a lot of intellect as well. And we were also really moved by our behaviors in that way. A lot of us moved and reacted based on our emotions or thoughts, and maybe those emotions and thoughts weren't very balanced or were misplaced, and we acted on it and we learned a lesson from that, and we had to realize that there was a different way to do it or a better way to do it next time. So allowing ourselves to see how much that emotion, thoughts, behaviors were affecting us last week, and then learn how to move forward with more control of them, more accountability for those emotions. When you feel them, know that you don't have to identify with those emotions all the way to the point where you're embodying them fully. If you're feeling the subtle frustration or the subtle anger, or you're feeling some subtle fear, you don't have to fully let that fear or that anger control you. You can choose to accept that you're feeling that and find ways to redirect the emotion and control it and navigate it. Same thing with thoughts. If you start to have negative thoughts, or you start to have thoughts that aren't serving you, self-doubt, or even critical thoughts of others, allowing yourself to be able to now see, okay, these thoughts are here. They were really intense last week, and I couldn't really control them last week, and it got me into trouble. So now this week, I have to be more conscious, more strict, more diligent in maintaining the control of my thoughts and redirecting the thoughts for this upcoming week. And same thing with the behaviors, okay? Now also, emotions work for us this week instead of vice versa. That's what I'm talking about, is making sure that last week we had a lot of lack of control over things. We had a lot of lack of control of the energy, the unexpected changes, the endings, the emotions, the thoughts, behaviors, and we let a lot of those things dictate our behavior and our energy. And we kind of worked for the emotions. We surrendered to all of that energy. But this week, we're having the emotions, thoughts, behaviors, that energy work for us, and we're learning how to control it. So that feels really good that we're stepping into a leadership role. We're stepping into more accountability for ourselves. We're stepping into more more of an ability to be humble as well. And that's how we show our strength and determination and focus. And that's how we find out where that will take us, is by being that focused, being that diligent, being that determined, being that strong, and having control over our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions right when we feel them. And then when we start to embody that, trust me, it's going to take a little practice. It's not going to be a flash in the pan thing. But when we take more time to embody that control over thoughts, feelings, and emotions, then thoughts, emotions, behaviors, then we're going to start seeing our strength and our prosperity and our support happening for us within, where we do see the positive changes in our life, where we do start to feel more confident in our ability to stay controlled in our own energy and to be disciplined in our mindfulness. And yes, following your bliss. That's absolutely what it's about, is following that heart's bliss and feeling into it. And this is really where that spirituality takes a strong leadership role, where we have to be not just spiritual on the surface, but we have to be doing the work and be integritous on the inside. Are we really doing the work internally? Are we really holding ourselves accountable for our actions? Are we really being honest with ourselves about our emotions and our thoughts? And are we controlling them in a positive way? Are we navigating them well with others? And when we know that, and when we do that, we become stronger in our spiritual awareness and our spiritual practice, and we're no longer superficially spiritual. We become masters of our spirituality and of our energy. All right, so that is the spirit messages for this week. Let me go over astrology and numerology real quick. Not too much to talk about there, but I will talk about it real quick. So the first thing is on Wednesday, 3/13/2019, it's 313. So numerologically, we've got a 3. We've also got the 1-3, which is alignment with more of that 3 energy. It also can be the 4, which is more harmony and alignment with that balance, that full balance, and communication with angels in response to that. And then we have the 2019, which is also a 3. So we're just really zoning in on that balance, that harmony, that full completed well-being. We had a lot of that last week with the 333 portal, but it's going to continue happening all throughout the month, because it is a 3-month and it is a 3-year. So that balance, that harmony, that moving into full complete balance from the duality of the two is really, really coming into play all throughout the month this month. And we're really being forced into finding the balances and releasing all of the imbalances that we've had that have been messing with our path and our purpose. So we are stepping into that fully. We're balancing life from the chaos of last week as well. So all the energy of last week, the intensity of last week is balancing out even more with this week as well on Wednesday with the 3/13/2019. Also on Wednesday, with astrology influence, the sun sextiles Pluto, which allows us to be more focused. It allows us to feel more powerful, and it allows us to own our transformation. So that's going to be a great energy influence for everything we just talked about in response to moving into more of our goals from this stuff that we felt last week. So feeling powerful, feeling transformative, feeling focused from the sun sextiling Pluto. Then we also have, sorry guys, I don't know what just happened. Then we also have the sun squaring Jupiter, which is all about joy, abundance, and growth, okay? Joy, abundance, and growth is huge for us. It's allowing us to feel expansive with the Jupiter influence. It's allowing us to feel that sun moving into Jupiter and bringing out more joy and happiness and awareness in our life. It gives us more freedom to feel into the positivity and the confidence that comes with our new truth and accessing that and really moving fully into the discipline and accountability of the energy that we've been feeling all last week. So this is going to be a great astrological influence on Wednesday for us to really tap into those goals and be strict and determined about them so that we can feel into the abundance of it all. Okay, also Thursday, the day after Wednesday, Thursday, 3/14/2019, it's all about reflection, retreat, and moving forward. The Mars trines Saturn, which allows us to feel more discipline as well, more serious focus on responsibilities, and effective energy, efficiency. So with the energy that we had on Wednesday, with allowing ourselves to feel more abundant and powerful and transformative, we're moving into even more discipline and serious focus and strict focus on our responsibilities and efficiency the next day with that Mars trining Saturn. Now with Mars, it's very active, it's very passionate, it's very in your face, and Saturn is very much a tough love kind of energy. So we want to make sure that if anything happens where we're getting some serious tough love on Thursday, or we're feeling a little bit like we're harder on ourselves than we usually are, make sure if you're somebody who's already really hard on yourself that you're not being mean to yourself, that you're not being so much in that tough love Saturn energy, that you're really passionate about it to the point where it's hurting your own confidence or making you feel more insecure or creating some kind of deep sadness or grief because of the way you're talking to yourself in a negative way. So if you're one of those people, if you know that you do that, if you know that you have a tendency to talk down on yourself or degrade yourself or be too hard on yourself, watch out for that on Thursday. Make sure that that Saturn influence over Mars doesn't make you go into hyperdrive with that, and really find ways to be kinder to yourself. If you notice that there's something that you can do better in, just accept it, forgive yourself, and move forward in that new energy. We're also going to feel the Sun conjuncting Mercury on that day, on Thursday, which is stabilizing the new moon energy that we had last week, allowing us to feel that spiritual connection, and also allowing us to feel even the organization and intellect from the Uranus entering Taurus. So we're feeling a lot of balance with that Sun conjuncting Mercury, allowing us to feel a little bit more communicative, shining more light on our communication, and also giving us more of that spiritual connection and logic, intellect connection, balancing the left and right brain. Okay, so that'll be for Thursday. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Uranus in Taurus, since we did have that last week. And it's going to be going on until 2026, April 2026. So for, what is that, 7 years? So that is a long time to have such an influence with Uranus moving into Taurus fully. Uranus is a very slow moving planet. So that's why it stays in Taurus for that long, because it just barely moves. It just barely moves. So it's going to take 7 years for it to actually move into another sign. And let me talk about the specific individual influences of Taurus and Uranus so that we can get a really solid foundation. I wanted to get into it a lot last week, but there was so much going on last week that we didn't get to talk about it too much. So today I want to just get a little bit clearer on it. Uranus and Taurus. So Uranus, the spiritual significance and influence of Uranus is unpredictable changes, reformation, science and invention, new energy and excitement, okay? That is what Uranus does to us when it is influencing us. It gives us unpredictable changes. We definitely had that last week. On, what was it? What day did it? Oh, the 6th. On the new moon day is when Uranus entered Taurus. So we definitely felt unpredictable changes. We definitely saw new beginnings revealing to us. We definitely felt those endings happening, unpredictability. We also felt reformation, a knowledge of ways we can change things that we want to make changes in, things that we need reform in, that we need to mold and change into something more beneficial for us. Then we also had the science and invention influence last week as well, and this week with just understanding more of our higher mind and our logic and being more organized and disciplined. But we also felt Tesla. We felt Nikola Tesla all last week, and I did a video on my Woke Wednesday about Nikola Tesla on my Instagram, on my IGTV. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you are at Readings by Rissa on Instagram, because there's a ton of videos that you're missing out on if you don't see it. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Readings by Rissa, if you're not an Instagram person. Readings by Rissa on Facebook also posts all of those videos. I think it's linked to it, so it should post all of my IGTV videos on there, and I usually pull some and put them on YouTube depending on how important they are. But the science and invention was strong with Nikola Tesla and all the 369s last week. And so we really want to allow that science and invention that we felt, that energy that we felt from Tesla and that Uranus influence, to allow us to bring more inventive, more inspired, more imaginative qualities to our ideas this week, so that we can really move into creating new beginnings with this week's energy. And then new energy and excitement, being excited for the fact that we've changed, we've shifted, we've moved into new awarenesses, we've moved into new energy, and it's time to be ready for all that that has to bring. No more fear of the unknown. And the Uranus influence allows us to really accept everything new and let go of old without feeling any kind of ties to that old stuff. So really enjoy that sense of energy from Uranus. And Uranus is also considered Father Sky. Father Sky, he is the grandfather of Zeus. And so Father Sky is Uranus, and that is the cosmos. So we're feeling into that cosmic connection as well, that higher mind and higher spiritual connection as well with Uranus. Now, with all of that energy moving into Taurus, let me talk a little bit about Taurus. Taurus is about practicality, stabilizing energy, being productive, being grounded, and it is earth energy. It is an earth sign. So we are feeling not just that Father Sky cosmic energy, but it's meeting the Taurus energy of the ground, the earth connection, and we're finding balance in that. So we're able to be more practical with all of the new energy and excitement we have from Uranus. We're able to stabilize the reformation and the unpredictable changes that we felt and the inventions that we might have moving forward. We're able to be more productive in being more scientific, organized, disciplined, setting goals, being more inventive. And then we're also feeling completely grounded, pulling all of our ideas and inspiration, our dreams, and making them manifest in the physical with grounded energy and the sense and inspiration to actually make action based on in the energy that you're feeling. So acting on that energy. Okay, so that's Uranus and Taurus. We're going to be feeling that until 2026, and it's going to continue building. We're going to continue getting more adapted to that energy as well. We're going to be more charismatic in that energy. But since it just happened, it's such a big shift, and it's a deep shift for our future. We're going to probably be feeling a lot of weird changes and a lot of weird shifts just from that alone. So let yourself notice that. Notice how that's affecting your life. Notice how Uranus and Taurus coming together is affecting your life, okay? All right, y'all. Let's do some deep breaths, and then we'll pull some cards for the week to close us out. I love to do this part. This is my favorite part because we all, as a collective, all 37 of us, wow, 37 people on the feed, so exciting. All 37 of us are going to stop right now and breathe deeply together and collectively engage in this energy. So let's go ahead and close our eyes for just a moment. Let's take a nice deep inhale together as a collective. Big exhale to release any tension in the body or the mind or the heart. Another deep inhale of love and gratitude for our spirit, our higher self, ourselves for being here together. Big exhale to relax and feel that light entering the body, making us feel good. And finally, biggest inhale yet, opening up to all the spirit messages as a collective here for the week of 3/10 to 3/17. With a big exhale to relax as we feel into this energy and open our eyes to get ready for these cards. How do you feel? Wow, I feel like I had a lot of energy come forth with all of you joining together. I feel like we were all together for a second with my eyes closed. I felt like I was in a big room with a bunch of people. Super cool that we're all able to feel that energy so potently. I hope you felt it too. Let's go ahead and pull some cards. Let's see what the beginning of the week has to offer. From the Spirit Messages deck. We love this deck with the blue butterflies on the back. Butterflies are all about transformation. So we are right on time there. It even has some yellow on it for intellect and inspiration coming forth, leadership as well, that power center of the solar plexus. What a great card. Now, let's go ahead and move into the middle of the week with the Healing with the Angels deck. I know, didn't it feel amazing, Marie? I felt that too. I was like, whoa, as soon as I closed my eyes and took that deep breath with y'all, it's like I could feel all of your energy, like we were all together in a room. It's so cool that we can do that. And that's why I love doing these live readings, you guys, because it's so much more fun for me, and I'm sure for you too, to be able to tap into the energy together before we pull cards. We're all adding to the energy of this card pull, which is really creating an even more accurate reading for the mass collective. Everybody that listens to this reading outside of who joined live will be represented in some way by this energy because of how many people came together and added their energy to it. So it really allows for more of a collective vibration to come forth for the reading. So, and we can feel it. Okay, for the end of the week, I'm getting called to pull Voyager deck. We've got some Voyager deck is so great. It's like the father deck. I call it my like father deck, my divine masculine deck. It gives us that sense of accountability, like we talked about, and that sense of just pure, cut to the chase, direct message. So let's see what it has for us. For the end of the week, Voyager, what do you got for us? Here's one. Here we go. Okay, everyone, let's see what we got. I'm so excited. Yes, we can change the planet together, all connected. That's so true. And I just am so happy to be connected here. We have such a big community now on this YouTube channel, almost 1,800 subscribers, a little bit over 1,800 subscribers. I can't wait till we reach 2,000. It's going to be so exciting. We're almost there. So make sure you're sharing these readings with your friends and your tribe, the people that you know who need this guidance, maybe who aren't connected spiritually yet, but might be able to resonate with these messages and learn more for themselves to connect to the spirit world. And also those who are connected to the spirit world who really want to be able to tap into the collective energy as well for these readings, because it allows us to change the world by sharing this information, sharing these readings, sharing this energy, and being so excited about that and passionate about that really makes people even more encouraged to be involved and even more excited about being involved. So it feels really good to have that. Okay, first card of the week for this week, 310 to 317, find your center. Wow, that is so on point, because the chaos of last week, I don't know if you guys felt it or how you guys were feeling, but I know that based on how I was reviewing and observing other people's feelings through readings and also my own and people in my life, we definitely need to find our center this week, because the energy last week threw us all over the place. We were up and down and sideways and diagonal and spun around all last week. So it's time to find our center. It almost feels like, you know, that game that they play with the baseball bat and you like circle around it and you have your head on it and you turn around it and then you like get up and you're like, whoa, that's what I feel like we are all at. And so it's time for us to like find our center and not be so dizzy from all the energy last week, okay? And that's really what we're moving into. Let me read this card to you so we can get a little bit more information. Now we got 40 people on. Hey, what's up? Okay, find your center. It says your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? Wow, so true. So everything that we're feeling internally and everything that we're seeing externally is connected. And it's important for us to check in with ourselves repeatedly throughout this week so that we can really stay in control of all of that energy, those emotions, those thoughts, behaviors that we talked about, and really find ways to understand them and understand our external experience through what we know is going on internally and through checking in with ourselves. So meditation, mindfulness, yoga, counseling, therapy, communicating with your closest friends, really reflecting on yourself. That's what this is all about, okay? And I love this picture because it's a rooted energy, but it's also centered in the heart with that heart spiral, that kind of Fibonacci sequence, allowing us to, that golden ratio, allowing us to really feel into the evolution that comes with finding our center. When we start to find our center and we really reflect on it, then that awareness spirals into more and more awareness, more and more grace, more and more ability to control our energy. So really feel into your center this week for the beginning of the week specifically. All right. Also, the next card, the middle card from the Angels, the Healing with the Angels deck, support. Man, do we need it, huh? What a great card for the middle of the week, especially going into this week of accountability and prosperity. We're going to feel the abundance of Jupiter. We're going to feel the abundance of owning our mistakes and our miscommunications, anything that happened last week that was revealed to us, owning our endings and moving forward. We are finally moving into a stronger vibration with that, and we're going to need support. We're going to need support with that for the middle of the week as we're controlling our energy more, as we're being more disciplined, as we're being more strict on our goals. So know that you're supported. Our spirit guides are supporting us. I love this card because it's so accurate to me when I meditate and I feel the collective of energy of spirit guides. They're healing the world together, and we're doing that together as well with these readings by making sure that we're putting the energy out there and the intentions out there for the mass collective to know how to navigate through the energy that we're experiencing each week. And we're supporting the world in that way energetically. And there are so many spirit guides, ancestors, angels, higher selves that are here supporting us. Call on them when you need it. Call on them when you're feeling down. Call on them when you're feeling confused or uncertain. Meditate, find your center, and know you're supported with them around you, giving you protection, love, and light. Archangel Michael is great for protection. If you need protection in a circumstance or an energy, maybe you need protection from yourself, your own thoughts or emotions, or from others or a circumstance. Also, Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi, Mata Lakshmi, is great for abundance. So you can check out Lakshmi. There's a lot of chants and mantras for Lakshmi to bring in that energy of abundance as well, and growth. And also there's tons of prayers from Saint Michael to, and Archangel Michael is the same thing, to really feel into that energy as well of protection. So those are a couple of guides that I would call on specifically for this week. Also Tesla, call on Nikola Tesla. He is an ascended master. He's a scholar, and he can help with any inventions or science or logic or organization that you might be needing in the middle of the week as well. So call on your support and your ancestors, the healthy ancestors, the ones that are well. Allow them to help you in your own personal way also. Okay, last card, the end card of the week, the ending of the week, we have integrity. Integrity. This is huge. This is being honest with yourself. Are you doing the spiritual work internally, or are you just superficially spiritual? I went on a little bit of a rant last week on IG about how I've been noticing so many spiritualists being very motivational and inspiring on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or out in a public event. But then when you meet them or you sit down with them for a couple hours and you really get to know them, or you see them interact with other people in real life, they're not walking the talk. They're just talking about spirituality, but they're not actually embodying it. So it's important for us all to notice where that might be true in our lives, where we might just be talking about something but not actually walking the talk, not actually embodying that energy. So that is our integrity for this week, to make sure that we are really being honest and genuine with ourselves. We're doing the internal work. We're being humble with our mistakes. We're being humble with our flaws, and we're allowing ourselves to see them clearly so that we can be integritous enough to change them and to demand and be strict with ourselves for a change and a positive shift in the right direction, and really allowing ourselves to find prosperity from that integrity. And also being genuine and truthful with others, making sure that that Mercury retrograde doesn't take away any of our integrity. Okay, huge. So find your center from all that dizzy energy of last week. Make sure you're meditating and connecting. This is a great day to do that today, before the week really fully starts its effect. Find your center. Know that you are supported by your guides, your higher self, your loved ones who have passed on, the angels, all of the energies that are here to help manifest more truth and light in your life. And we are also supporting the world right now with this conscious intention to have the world feel supported by their guides as well. And we will be more integritous and focused on integrity for the end of the week, making sure that we're really doing the spiritual work and being internally as disciplined and as strict with ourselves as we may be implying the importance of outside of ourselves. Okay? Those are our 3 cards. What a great reading for 310 to 317. Let me see if I have any announcements. I do. Just so you guys know. Oh, by the way, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me. So fun. Also, announcements real quick. I have a new merchandise line. I have merchandise to sell if you guys are interested. I created this really cool design. It's a pyramid with the Eye of Horus and the spiral and the air sign. So there's like a ton of symbols all in one symbol, and that's my logo. But it's not just a logo, it's a transformative energy. It's a sacred geometry that I've designed, that I was guided to create by my guides, that would help transform and transmute a lot of energy, and also bring in a lot of the key elemental energies that are needed for the shift of this humanity and our experience and our energy in it. So by wearing that merchandise, by spreading it around, we're transforming the world. That's how I perceive it. It's anybody that sees that symbol is going to subconsciously get an energetic charge, an energetic activation, something that they need for themselves, wherever they are on their path. So my merchandise is available on theunicorngoddess.com/connect collections. And I'll put the link in my description, because it's like a /collections and then /Rissa-vibes. So I don't expect you guys to remember that, though I know you can probably rewind, but I'll put the link in my description box so you have it. You can purchase the merchandise. There's hoodies, there's crop tops, there's unisex tanks. The hoodies are unisex as well. There's tons of stuff up there. So I hope that you guys check that out. Also, I have a new music video coming out. Junkie will be coming out very soon, in the next couple of weeks. I think I'm gonna release it on the 21st of March. And so I'm gonna be filming it all this week, so I'm super excited about that. If you haven't heard my music, my album Spirit Junkie is a playlist on this YouTube channel. So check out the playlists listed on this YouTube channel. You'll see Spirit Junkie, that's my entire album. You'll also see music videos, Rissa Vibes music videos. That's all the music videos for the Spirit Junkie album. So if you're more visual and you want to see what we did visually with all those songs, I've done 7 out of 9 of the music videos for the album, and Junkie will be the 8th music video. Super exciting. And Junkie is all about really owning your shadow, knowing what that means, accepting your shadow, and also learning how to transmute your shadow through that acceptance and that consciousness. So it's really kind of right on point right now for what we're going through this week. So definitely go check that song out. The audio is available on the Spirit Junkie playlist on this channel. And make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you haven't already. If you like these readings, you like joining me live here, make sure you subscribe, like, comment how this reading resonated with you, and then share it with your tribe. So important, okay? And then I do personal readings too. Last announcement, I do personal readings, okay? So if you're interested in a general reading that covers work, love, family life, spiritual growth, or you want to do a energy cleansing, I actually have a combo deal for both of those services for a really, really affordable price, so message me for that. You can email me readingsbyrissa@gmail.com. And then I also do mediumship, past life, cosmic connections, where you can connect with your cosmic self and the aspect of yourself that's connected to ETs or mermaids or other kind of mystical beings. That's a really fun reading too. All right, so that's all I have for you. Thanks for joining me for this 45-minute reading. I appreciate you so much. I know that these readings are long, but you get all of the things that you need from it. You get astrology, numerology, spirit messages, cards, and a collective of energy, a collective of like-minded beings joining together to give energy to the world and heal the world. So I appreciate all of you for taking the time every Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time to join me for these weekly readings. And I will see you again next week, same time, same place, ready to go for another set of energies to tap into. All right, I'm so excited. I'm like, I can't even talk straight. So I love you all. Thank you again for joining me, and have a great, great week. And remember those 3 cards: find your center, support, and integrity. I love you all. See you later.